Welcome back to Rogue Garage, and today we're going to be going over more of the 720. We're going to go over the doors, kind of the whole start to finish. We had the door that was bent and broken that we had to completely change, and then all the paint work and everything from all the separate door panels to even going through all the mirrors and that. So we'll show you kind of the whole step-by-step, kind of what we've been doing. So doors. These are the most complicated doors I have ever worked on. That driver's door, as we showed in some of the other videos, that it was bent and it was cracked, and it didn't matter what I did trying to adjust, it would not fit properly. And then this is all hack jobbed up. Supposedly this was a paint and body shop that had this. One of the really fun ones is this door is actually cracked right here. I'm trying to figure out what the best thing to do with it, because this whole thing is all flexing. So our new door, found it in Latvia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Had it air freighted over here, so we've got a new door shell. It's actually even black. Well, all in all, the door seems to be in good shape. And now that the door is off, I can kind of show you a little bit more of why we're replacing it. Okay, so here's our pillar. You can see this crack here. Look at that. Oh yeah. I don't think that came from McLaren that way. The door is going to be way lighter than it was before, so it's going to be harder to push. Yeah. Oh, it looks like it's decent. All right, well, we have a door that isn't broken now. So I got that other door on. It actually fits great, but all of these panels, I think there's as much surface area on the doors as I have on the entire back of the car. There's all these panels that go up and then back down. And what you have is you have two different sections on the actual aluminum door itself that have to get painted. You have this upper section, and then you have this lower section that's down inside here with the vent. And then you have two other panels that are actually fiberglass, which is this panel here that has the mirror going through it and comes up and over. And then you have this piece right here that I called the shark fin. And this piece actually, of course, this outside and underneath gets painted. But then even underneath and inside here, this all got painted too. So I had to paint and go both sides, so it was even kind of tricky trying to hang the piece properly to paint all of it. But we got all that painted. I did the cut and buff with all those pieces off of the door. And then there's also the actual door handle for this is right inside here. We've got this wild vent that goes down to feed air into the radiators. They did this cool design thing to keep from having kind of your typical supercar big vent that's exposed. So it all comes through here in between the door, which made this really, really fun, even with the pieces off, to like buff. I had to buy some special pads and that were double-sided so that I could get in here and do my cut and buff. One of the cool things I figured out after having this car apart and back together, it's got the soft close catches, which is pretty neat. You just kind of let it just lightly catch, and then it sucks the door in. I got all of these carbon panels on the top. This is not the option that has the glass sunroofs, and those always break, and they're like $11,000 a side. And then lastly, as part of all of the trim pieces, you can see this is our last piece. This quarter panel is not painted yet, because we've got some fun things in store for the back end. We're going to be kind of ripping it around and having some fun with kind of everything exposed back here. But all of this trim was the silver before, and I did all of this in a nice satin trim black. And this door is basically ready for door panel. All right, so these mirrors, I was like totally on the fence because I just was really kind of dreading doing the mirrors. So the original color of this car was black with a gold flake in it. So you only saw the gold flake when it was under light. The mirrors were actually in great shape. They were that factory color with that gold flake. So I really kind of wanted to just buff them and put them on and like move on, because all this has been a lot of work. But I knew that as soon as I took it out in the light and that was the only thing that had that gold flake in it, it was gonna probably bug the crap out of me. So I pulled it back apart, and holy smokes, these mirrors, let me show you how many dang pieces was in this mirror. Like all of this whole part that was the blue, I disassembled the entire thing. So what we have here is all of the parts for one mirror. So we've got all the electronics that has the camera, lens, the upper cup, all of the arm assembly and pieces, gaskets. So it's all been buffed and ready for assembly. Look at that. First mirror's on. So we've got all the blue with the black that matches all the black that we did on the hood. A lot of friggin' work just for one mirror. It's really pretty amazing when I got these things all disassembled how many dang pieces there was. And I painted each one individually. I did the cut and buff on all the separate pieces, so it was all nice and clean and perfect. I am very glad that I ended up doing it. You know, we've got the combination of the blue with the solid black that then matches the black that we did everywhere else on the car. All right, so for the inside of the doors, we have now a airbag. I've been on the hunt for airbags. Out of all of the airbags in this car, the only one that was actually still here was the one passenger door airbag. This one, our lovely friend out in Florida, they had actually, this one was blown that was here before. And what they had done is they just shoved the bag back in the assembly and just left the wires hanging, and then just kind of reupholstered the outside so it like looked okay. And you could kind of tell the emblem was all kind of dented and everything. So sure enough, when I pulled it, I was able to see that it didn't have the charge. It didn't have anything. So it was a worthless airbag. So we got one here. This is actually an Alcantara. It was out of a 765. Perfectly good. We are still waiting on this lovely airbag. Mr. Lovely mechanic in Florida that I bought this car from, they just did some nice plastic covers and screwed it over where the knee airbags go. The big elephant in the room, we seem to have a lot of space right here. The seat's gone. We're doing a custom interior in this. It's not going to be a complete color change, but it's going to be total custom seats, as well as some other colors in that we're changing inside here to, one, make it our own, and two, I think make it go with the whole build better as well. But I am so excited to be actually getting to some of these fun bits and not just fixing broken A-arms and stuff that is very much so not fun, but very expensive and important.
Little bonus feature.
Bonus feature. So these headlights are like $1,500, and they just have these little plastic pucks that slide into these notches. Well, this one only had one puck up in the front, and the other one didn't have any, and it was all kind of broken. So I fixed and rebuilt all the broken stuff, and then I made my own little pucks, and then I'm epoxying them in. So that's what this is. I've basically rebuilt all of this, and then I'll end up epoxying this, but it slides into this little notch here, like so, and then that holds now the headlight in. Before, the headlights were literally just flopping there, and they had one bolt that's up here that they were bolted, and that's all that was holding these in before. So you'd hit bumps, and you could see the lights like do this. They won't do that anymore. They're nice and solid. So this is one of my favorite views of this car, especially now with having this paint done and the light reflecting off of it and just you getting that light and dark flop with the paint color. I just think this is just the coolest thing. I'm now finally to the point of like this exciting, fun stuff. So speaking of exciting things on this car, I bought one of the most exciting things and probably one of the most expensive, non-necessary purchases for this car, but I think it's gonna make this thing look phenomenal. We got a big box. What could it be? Stay tuned for the next one.